Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Savannah LaDell, and if you're returning, then welcome back. Today's video is going to be all on my flawless natural makeup look. So if you're interested to know what my current makeup routine is and get some tips and tricks along the way, then stay tuned. Before we get into the video, I just want to say I'm just so excited for 2020, and I have so much content that I'm about to create for y'all. So if you want to be a part of the Savvy Squad, make sure that you subscribe down here. I think I'm pointing to the right direction. Make sure you subscribe to my channel because I'm really trying to grow this year, and it would mean the world to me if you also hit the bell notification. That way you always see my posts, because sometimes YouTube acts a little weird. And then also, last thing I want you to do is not subscribe, but follow me on Instagram at Vanna LaDell. It's my new Instagram, and I'm also trying to build that back up. So it would mean the world to me if you do those things. Without further ado, let's get into this flawless makeup routine. Okay, so the first thing that I like to do in my everyday makeup routine before I get started with anything, I like to moisturize my lips. And lately I've been loving this Jack Black Intense Therapy Lip Balm. It's in a grapefruit flavor, and it has SPF 25 in it, and I just really love this. I sleep in this as well. It smells really nice, and it feels really good on the lips, and I love that it has that SPF in it, so you're also getting protection on your lips, because that is important. And I'm sorry if my light is going in and out. My ring light is so ghetto. Like, it's time for a new one, but you know, you gotta work with what you got. So if the light gets brighter or gets darker, then that's why. The first thing I like to do is do my brows before I do any of my face makeup. And I found that when I put moisturizer and other skincare products on my face, and then I go in and try to do my eyebrows, I found that it makes it like slip and slide, and I just can't get precise the way I want. So I found that it's really nice to work with like a dry eyebrow area. So that's one tip I have, is just to start off with your eyebrows and don't put any other product on your face. So I'm gonna zoom through the brows. If you guys have been on my channel, you know what product I'm about to use. It's the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. And I am in the shade number 4. And I just really love this because this lets me get detailed with my brows. I have pretty thin brows, but I like to make them look a little bit thicker. And this product just allows me to do that. So I highly recommend it if you don't really have eyebrows and you're really trying to like get those hair-like strokes. This is really good if you prefer a pencil. So I'm gonna zoom through this. Let me know in the comments below if you dig my eyebrows. Most people don't, but if you end up liking my eyebrows, let me know if you want a detailed eyebrow routine, because I'll be happy to do that for you. But yeah, I'm just gonna zoom through this, so let's get that done. Now that my eyebrows are filled in, the next thing I like to do is clean them up with concealer or foundation. I was doing it with concealer, but my concealer is a couple shades lighter than my foundation, which was giving me that halo brow look. And halo brow is basically whenever, like, a lot of girls do carve out their eyebrows, right? And so if the concealer is lighter than your foundation, then you'll have this like line, and then if you go on top, you'll have this like carve out of your brows that's a little brighter than the rest of your face, and it's just not a good look. It happens to the best of us, so don't be upset, don't feel embarrassed. But that was kind of happening to me, so I decided to just use my foundation shade to carve out my eyebrows. And I really like using foundation so that way you avoid the halo brow look. And then also a tip that I have is make sure that whatever concealer or foundation that you're using, make sure it has a little grip to it, because I found if you use a foundation or a concealer that's like super creamy, I feel like you can't really carve your brow out precisely. And this Becca Ultimate Coverage Foundation is really thick, so I feel like it grips really nice and I can have control in how I carve out my brow. So that's just a little tip that I've learned along the way that I wanted to share with you. So I'm just gonna zoom through this and carve out my brow. I am using a Morphe M124 brush to do this. Okay, so now that I should be coming with too much energy. So now that my brows are carved out, the next thing I like to do is go ahead and prep my skin. One thing I like to do is wear serum under my foundation. And this is the it's a little dirty, but this is the Peach and Lily Glass Skin Refining Serum. So it is basically supposed to make your skin look really bright, poreless, and just like glass, you know? So I love this because it's clear, it's easy to wear day or night. So you're always repairing your skin even when you're wearing makeup. It doesn't have any scent. To me, it doesn't. And it just glides on really easy. And it doesn't interfere with my makeup, I feel like. So I like to just press that into my skin. Highly recommend this. I think I'm going to do a skincare video. So yeah, let me know if you're interested in seeing a skincare routine video, because I've really been loving some skincare products that I want to share with y'all. The next thing I like to do is moisturize. Of course, moisturizing is so important. Whether you're oily, dry, normal, whatever, you need moisture, okay? You need moisture, and you definitely need some protection for your skin. So I love this Kiehl's Ultra Facial Moisturizer Sunscreen. It has SPF 30 in it, which I love. And ever since I've been using this, I have definitely seen a difference in my skin. I feel like my skin, since it's being protected now, it just, I don't know, it's giving me a different vibe. So I like to put this moisturizer on everywhere. And another thing I like about this moisturizer is that, so if you've been on my channel, you know I'm a combination girl. And so I tend to get oily in my T-zone when I wear makeup. And usually when you're oily or combo, you don't like things that are too moisturizing when you're gonna put on makeup. But I like this because it's like a nice in-between. It's not too lightweight, so I feel like I'm getting moisture, but it's not too creamy to where I feel like my skin looks greasy or oily. Hope that makes sense. To be completely honest, I'm not invested in an eye cream. I don't have one that I'm just like, this is my eye cream, I love it. I pretty much just grab whatever I see in front of me. So what I saw in front of me was this one from Shiseido, Can I talk? Benefiance Wrinkle Smoothing Eye Cream. I love Shiseido's products, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of this under my eye. And when you put on eye cream, you want to be very delicate, because your under eye is like one of the most delicate parts, I think, if not the most delicate area on your face. And so they always say put it on with your ring finger. It just feels awkward to me, so I do my middle finger. But I'm like really gentle with it, and then I just press it up and pat it into the skin really gently. Again, this is a very delicate area because it's a very thin layer of skin, so you always want to be gentle. So I highly recommend wearing an eye cream no matter what age you are. They definitely say start your skincare routine in your 20s. That way when you're like 40, you're not gonna be freaking out. But I don't know, I work with a lot of women, and a lot of different women of all ages come in, and usually the ones that are, you know, their skin's changing, their bodies are changing, and I understand how that is. Not completely because I'm not there, but I understand, and they just complain about everything, and I'm like looking at them, I'm like, you're so beautiful, why, like, and I mean it, I'm like, you're so beautiful, why are you, like, you're being really hard on yourself. And I'm like, we're all aging, like at some point I'm gonna age, but I hope that I'm in a place where I can embrace it and just look at it like I have more wisdom than these little kids and I've been through more, and I can share more with them and just still see the beauty inside of me. So anyways, that was a little heart to heart I wanted to tell you guys. Whoever's watching my channel, you are beautiful, so stop beating yourself up. The next thing I like to do is prime my face. Before, I was not priming my skin, but you know, I do notice the difference when I'm wearing a primer, and so I do tend to get really oily in my T-zone. One product that I have been absolutely loving, and it's a new one, it's from Urban Decay. It's their all-nighter face primer. So it's supposed to smooth and perfect, and it's also supposed to can I talk? It's also supposed to grip your makeup, and it really does grip really nice. And to me, it helps with oily skin. So I really like to concentrate it in my T-zone area. So I'm gonna put a little, well, I'm gonna put a nice little amount of this on my skin. Another primer that I've been loving is the e.l.f. Face Putty Primer, I think is what it's called. That one's really nice for filling in pores. So if it gets darker, the sun is setting, so we may lose the natural light, but that's okay. So just heads up on that. But I like to press every product that I put on my face, I like to press it in. Here we go. Especially skincare, you want to press it in, that way it penetrates deeper into your skin and works even better. So for me, everyone doesn't have to do this step, but for me, I have so many dark spots, hyperpigmentation on my skin, that for me this is a necessary step. So the next thing I like to do is color correct. I highly recommend the LA Girl Pro Concealer. It's very inexpensive and it's in the shade Orange. This is if you're correcting for darkness, and this is really pigmented. So a tip I have is don't use a lot. A little goes a long way, I promise you. So I like to take just a little bit, and I swear I got like burned. Like I was using the Murad something rapid something, it's for darkness, and it has hydroquinone in it, and that's a really potent thing. And I feel like I want to say I like waxed my upper lip too the same day, and then I did that, and then I did some other stuff, and I feel like I had a bad reaction because I have a lot of darkness like right here, and the darkness around my mouth got even worse. So I'm like, we gotta fix that. But anyways, so I've really been having to color correct a lot, so I just put a little bit there, and I put a couple dots, and then sometimes I go under my eye a little bit if I have a little extra time, but that's not really that big a visual for me. And then to blend it out, I like to use a brush instead of a sponge, because I feel like a sponge is going to soak up all the product, and that's not what I want. So I've been using my Morphe M173 brush, and what I do is just press it in and try to blend it in as best as I can. That way it doesn't peek through the foundation, because the last thing I want is to look like a Oompa Loompa, okay? I'm going to be really gentle underneath the eye. Remember, that is a very delicate area. Now that that's blended out, it's time for me to go in with my foundation, and I'm going to use my Becca Ultimate Coverage Foundation. This is in the shade Terracotta, and I have fallen in love with this foundation. A lot of people, I feel like you either love it or you hate it because it is a little thicker, but I love it. If you're looking for full coverage, it is ultimate full coverage. Like I can wear this and not put on concealer. So I am kind of running out, so it's not pumping out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I use my products down to the nitty-gritty. So I've been putting a brush in here to get all the rest of the product out. So that's what we're gonna do. No shame in my game. But before I do that, I'm actually gonna use a sponge to blend this foundation out. It works well with a brush too. but I really like the finish that a sponge gives me, so I'm gonna use my Real Techniques sponge. Like I said, with this foundation, a little bit does go a long way. I like a super full coverage, but I don't want it to look or feel cakey. So this is with any foundation. I recommend just starting off with a thin layer, and that's with anything in makeup. Start with a little, assess, and then build upon that if you feel like you need more. So that's what I like to do with my foundation. So I'm just gonna use this little brush and just kind of put it kind of everywhere. A nice thin layer. I'll blend this out and then I'll assess where I need more. I'm probably going with a second layer because that's just how I do. Now I'm gonna use my sponge to blend it out. And for me, complexion is something that has been my favorite part of makeup, because I feel like once you have a good complexion, like first off, skincare is where it starts. But once you have like your skincare down, complexion is just, to me, the next most important thing, because you can have all the pretty eyeshadow in the world, but if your complexion doesn't look good, then I mean, what do you have? The rest is just decoration. So I feel like everything starts with skincare and then finding the right complexion products for yourself and finding the right routine, because like I said, I work in the beauty industry and a lot of people come in because, you know, they watch YouTube and stuff, and that's great, but or they'll listen to their friends, which is all great, and I'm not saying your friends are lying, but I always tell women, I'm like, you know what, I know so many people have said this is good, but this is not made for your skin type. You gotta find what works best for you. And what I'm telling you guys, this might not be what is gonna work best for you. So you gotta take everything with a grain of salt and try it out. And if it doesn't work out, don't get mad. Just know that you have to keep searching for the right thing for your skin. And that's just what I like to tell people, because it's so true. It is so true. So I'm assessing my skin. I feel like I need more coverage. I still see some of my dark spots poking through. I still see a little bit of the color corrector there. So I'm gonna just randomly put some more spots. One tip I have, so that way you don't have a line of demarcation, one is to match your foundation to your neck. And make sure that you drag the product down just a little bit. You don't have to drag it all the way down to your neck because you don't want your foundation getting on your clothes, but just drag it down just a little bit. That way there's not like a line in case your foundation is a tiny bit off, because that's embarrassing, but we've all been there. So don't worry, don't fret, okay? I got your back. Once I have all of this done, everything else pretty much I can zoom through. So sometimes if I'm in a rush, I'm not gonna lie, I don't put on concealer because I feel like it's not that bad, but I do see my dark circles still just a little bit. So I like to use my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This is in the shade Deep, and this stuff is just bomb, okay? So I like to put a little bit, if I'm trying to be real cute, contoured and highlighted, I put like a lot of it on, but today I just kind of want my skin to peek through and look as natural as possible. So I'm just gonna put a little bit under really where I need it and not go in too crazy with it. And then I like to bring it down the bridge of my nose for a nice little highlight. And this does make a huge difference. Like I notice when I don't do this step. And then you can highlight your cupid's bow, your chin, anywhere else, but I like to keep it short and sweet. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll just blend it out with my Real Techniques sponge. Okay, so now that my concealer is on, then I like to set everything with some powder. And the powder that I've been loving lately has been the Kylie Jenner Loose Powder. This is in the shade Dark. I really like it for just setting, and if I want to get fancy with it, which I'm not today, if I ever want to bake, I feel like this is, and I'm almost out of this, I'm like trying to dump everything that I can out, but I really like baking with this. It doesn't leave like that scary white cast and make you look like your casket ready. So I really like this one, and I just like to press it into my skin. I don't bake with it because I've been loving a more natural look here lately. Don't get me wrong, I love a good glam, like beat down face, but for every day, that's just not my jam. So I like just setting my whole face with this, but lightly, and then mainly just focusing the powder more in the areas where I tend to get really oily. The next thing I like to do is go ahead and bronze my skin, and I've been using this Kylie bronzer. It's in the shade Tawny Mami, and it looks like this. And so I just use this to warm up my skin, and I'm going to use that same brush. And I like to start a little high, that way I'm not dragging it down, because I want my cheekbones to appear a little bit higher than what they really are. So just, this is really subtle too, it's not too prominent, which is what I want. And then I put it in my hairline, here, and I'm not really like that precise with this. I'm just really using it to kind of warm up the skin a little bit. I'm also going to use this bronzer in my crease, and I was making a joke on my Facebook because this is the face that I typically do every day, and I was like, man, I need to start using all these eyeshadow palettes that I run out and buy. I was like, if no one drops a color for me to use today, then I'm just putting bronzer in my crease and calling it a day, because that's literally what I do on a daily basis, especially if I don't have a lot of time. So I'm just using this Morphe M532 brush, and this is like a trick that I love because it contours your eye, and then it also is just like effortless. Like if you don't have a lot of time to put on eyeshadow, the least you could do is put a little bronzer in your crease, and I'm telling you, girl or boy, it's gonna make a huge difference. Like I notice when I don't do it, like it definitely adds more warmth to your skin, and like I said, it contours your eyes. So I just put it in my crease with a little fluffy brush like so. You don't even have to be that neat with it. And then I put a little bit on the outer V of the eye and just kind of give it a nice little blendation there, and I mean, you're ready to go. One thing I've been loving doing is kind of contouring my nose a little bit. I'm not an expert, so don't judge me, but I've been trying, and I feel like it makes a difference and it doesn't look crazy. So I like to use that same Kylie bronzer, and I just use this Morphe M321 brush, and I put just a little bit on it because we ain't trying to look crazy, okay? So I just put a little bit on it, and then I start like right in like my, it's like a little bit above my crease and a little bit below my eyebrow bone, and I just like connect it to my nose bone, and I just go down a little bit. So I just and I drag it down, and then I go under here a little bit. Who texted me? And then I do the same thing, and I just go with a really light hand, just kind of snatch that nose a little bit, and then go back under and just knead it. And yeah, that's literally all I do, but I do notice a difference. Like it does make my face look a lot more snatched than what it really is. So to be not so scary, I like to go over everything. Every powder I use, I pretty much go over it with a sponge, so that way it could just look skin-like and look as natural as possible. So that is one tip I have, is to go over every powder that you use lightly with a sponge. So that little bronzer we put on, I'm gonna go right over it with a sponge. And that's, to me, what makes everything just look really natural and skin-like. Especially if you went in too heavy, and I tend to be heavy-handed, this really helps. Whoa, no smell. All right, time for one of my favorite parts of makeup. It's blush. I love blush so much. So here lately, I have been using, what have I been using? This Buxom blush. It's so pretty. It's called Dolly. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but it looks like this. It's so cute. And I use the same Morphe brush, and I go in kind of heavy, and I like to just drag it up, and it just adds like a soft little touch. It makes you look nice and angelic and just gorgeous. Love it. I love blush. Oh my god. I love blush so much. I can't stop putting this on. So cute. Next up, I like to do is use this Morphe M321 brush. I put a little bit of the highlight, and I like to highlight just like the tip of my nose. It really does something. Like when I don't do this step, I notice. So just highlight a little bit of the tip of my nose. I go down a little bit of the bridge right at the top. Sometimes I go a little crazy, so I just pat that out. Then I like to take it underneath my brow bone, right under the arch, to give my brows a little bit of a more lifted look. Sometimes I go a little heavy-handed, like on that was a little too much. So I like to kind of blend it out. I'll even take my sponge if I went a little too hard with it, and just kind of blend that out. And I got this like messed up, this was like from a Bretman palette. I got one of his highlight palettes he did with Morphe. This brush is so messed up, but I still use it. So I'll take a little bit of the kylighter and I'll just put it right on the tops of my cheekbones, and also right above my brow bone, just for that nice little glowy look. And then I, again, go back in with my sponge and just kind of make that more subtle, not as crazy looking. Okay. Now I'm going to wipe off my lip balm. You can use a paper towel. I'm just going to use my hands. Keeping it real. I'm going to tell you now, this is when the makeup really just, it comes together as one. This is like one of my favorite steps in my makeup routine. So this is my all-time favorite lip liner. It's from NYX. It's called Vintage. And I use this to line my lips. It's like my perfect everyday shade. And I highly recommend, well, I can't talk and do this, but give me a second. I was gonna say, I highly recommend if you are wanting your lips to look bigger or appear juicier, you have to wear a lip liner. A lip liner is going to do that. Wear a slightly darker lip liner. Like if you're wearing a lipstick, go a couple shades down from that lipstick so that way there's a contour effect. I'm more of a gloss girl than anything, and I just like to wear a clear gloss every day. So when I do this, it just makes my lips look bigger, juicier, plumper, and yeah, just highly recommend it. If you guys want me to do a video on how to make your lips look juicy and plump and contour them, make them look like not one-dimensional, and give them some more dimension, let me know in the comments below because I'll be happy to do that. So y'all, I don't know, I feel like I've talked about this in a lot of my videos, but this lip gloss is so slept on. It's the Essence Shine 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 lip gloss. It's clear. It's called Behind the Scenes. If you follow me on Instagram at LaDell, I literally list this lip gloss in all my makeup looks. I think I've talked about it on YouTube. I just saw Alyssa Ashley post about it and rave about it, and I'm like, yo, they've been sleep on this. Like, again, I work in the beauty industry and I sell this lip gloss out, y'all. It's $2.99. $2.99, and it's bomb. It's not just like any clear lip gloss. It just really gives your lips like this beautiful shine. Like, I don't know, there's nothing like it so far for me. There's nothing like it, and it just feels really nice. It doesn't feel sticky, and I basically just kind of blend it in and kind of make my own lip color. That's a big part, is blending, so I like to blend my lip liner out a little bit, and it just creates the perfect like ombre contoured effect. Oh my god, I can't even stop putting this on. I'm also gonna do a, it's so funny, like I probably had these lip glosses for like 5 months. They have other colors, and I was like, why don't I do a lip gloss swatch kind of like lookbook type of thing? And they've just been sitting in a bag, and I'm gonna do that for you guys because I think y'all would like it. I think y'all like lip videos from me. They tend to do really well on my channel, but I don't know, I just haven't done it, and they've just been sitting in the bag for months because I've been loving these Essence lip glosses, and I'm like, why is nobody else talking about this? And Alyssa Ashley just said something about it. I'm like, so I know all y'all about to run out and buy it, but I been knew about it. We been knew. And I don't really wear lashes. I'm not a lash wearer. They just don't feel comfortable for me in my everyday life. So I just wear mascara, and that's what we're gonna do. I'll zoom through this part because it's not really that interesting. I think you know how to put on mascara. But one product I've been loving is this Lash Food Conditioning Collagen Lash Primer. So it's supposed to help your lashes grow, and it also just helps to extend your lashes before you put on your mascara. So I like this. I've been doing it before I put on my mascara. So I'm gonna just do that a little bit on the top and the bottom. I like to use my L'Oreal Telescopic mascara and just the shade, I think this is Blackest Black. And I like this mascara because the wand or the brush is like really thin, and I have super curly eyelashes, and so I like to try to extend them. Like I try to like uncurl them in a way. So if you have curly lashes, you get what I'm saying. So we can't use brushes that are really big. It just doesn't work out because it's gonna get on my eyelids. So yeah. That's why I love this. So I recommend this if you're looking for length, which that's what I'm always looking for, and you have really curly lashes, you will like this, I think. I feel like I look so crazy when I'm putting mascara on. When I'm like editing my videos, I'm like, you look like a psycho. I'm like stop making those faces. I was doing fine without you. Now I have my mascara on. I'm just doing some finishing touches. So sometimes I like to go back and just like add things or fix anything I see is messed up. And I totally forgot to put some highlighter in my inner corner. I feel like it just wakes my eyes up. So that's a trick that I recommend if you are tired or you look tired. Put a little bit of a highlighter or just something brightening in your inner corner. It's just gonna make you look awake even if you're not. Okay guys, this is the final look. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you got some tips and tricks from this video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you learned anything from my tips or tricks, let me also know that. And then just let me know what you guys actually want to see from me, because I'm here to create things that I love to create, but also I want them to have meaning and purpose behind them. So it really helps me when you guys suggest the videos that you want to see or topics that you want to talk about. So that would mean the world to me. Don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the bell notification, that way you never miss a video from me. Follow me on Instagram at LaDell, and keep it real and keep it true. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.